Nice to have you with us on The Fan on this 28th day of October, Thursday in New York, as we put a bow tie on the baseball season 2004 edition. Of course, it's our good buddies Mark Malusis and A.H. Kazari, 718-937-6666. Our pals from Yes, and the thing I like about this more than anything else.
What is that, Doug?
The sting returns, because if you're a Yankee fan, and I spoke to a million of them today, especially one loud one in Santa Fe, the pain returns for a day and a half because of the fact that the Red Sox, without much of a sweat, 4-game sweep. You know, I'm wearing red today, not because I'm a Red Sox fan, because, you know what, I want to honor the curse. It's out. It's finished. And, Mike, I'll say it to you first, as you're sitting here, and I got to crack at you for 5.5 hours today. This one has to bother you as almost as, not as much as last week, but the pain's got to return a little bit after what happened here in this World Series.
I don't think there's any question. First, let me, to the Red Sox Nation, who I expect to be extremely vocal this afternoon, and I welcome your calls. Let me first offer my heartfelt congratulations. I know through the years we have had a loving, if adversarial, relationship, but it was well-earned. You guys did it, it was a remarkable season. Really one of the great stories in recent history in sports. A team that will be remembered for a long time for what it accomplished against the Yankees. And then, of course, it's, devouring of the the Cardinals.
Exactly.
Who
Cardinals
just put up such a wonderful fight in that World Series. But for all those who have hungered and thirsted and waited and prayed, congratulations.
3 things I'll say, Mike. Number one, I wonder what Sheffield thinks after he gave those quotes to Bob Nightingale there after the Minnesota series.
He was wrong. He opened his big mouth, then he should be quiet.
Tom Gordon, you know what? They're a bunch of challengers. We're the champions.
Tom Gordon better be quiet. He did more for the Red Sox here than he did there.
And thirdly, listen, I have to. I don't mean to be too nasty about it, but the Yankees have the tendency to tell you about, they're professional and, we go about our business the proper way. Right. We respect the game and. They don't respect it, the long hair, and they don't take it seriously and all that. Listen, it went halfway by the board after last week. Now it goes completely by the board. I don't care if they're naked at first pitch. The bottom line, they don't get dressed until 10 minutes before game time. I don't care. Bottom line is they have the World Championship. The A's won, and they were nuts. It doesn't make any difference how you get the job done. Those Yankee teams in the 20s with Ruth. He was in the hot dogs all night. He won his championships. That stuff goes by the board. I don't care how professional you are or you think you are. Bottom line is going to win. And the Red Sox, whatever the case, God was playing the games, made the right plays, took advantage of some situations.
They were the best team in baseball.
And they won. So give them credit.
Doug, all summer I sat here and said I thought they were a big threat. I told you all year I thought they'd be a big threat. I expected them to. Now, I didn't expect them to come back when the Yankees were up 3-0. Okay, now if the Yankees lost that series in 7 games, back and forth, I wouldn't have been shocked, and we wouldn't have been surprised even. We knew the Yankee pitching was a problem. I give the Reds, here's the 2 things I think about as we set up the day. Number one, the Red Sox, on one hand, like everybody else in sports, get a little lucky. Sometimes you don't the move doesn't work out the way you wanted. Remember, the Red Sox put Manny Ramirez on waivers. They were begging somebody to take him. Nobody would touch that contract. Then they tried to get A-Rod. If they had gotten A-Rod, it would have changed their whole team. They probably wouldn't have got Schilling. I wouldn't have been able to afford Schilling.
Well, they wouldn't have had Manny,
They
so
wouldn't
left
have had
fielder,
Manny.
no Garcia Parra.
They wouldn't have had Cabrera because they wouldn't have been able to trade Garcia Parra. I mean, they would have traded, but they wouldn't have been able to have a room for Cabrera.
Right.
So they became a very different team. Now, that happens with every team. So that's not a slight. That's just the way things are. Number two, here's where I give Theo tremendous credit, though. Theo was weaned on this, and they still are involved because Bill James is a consultant. But Theo was weaned on this Bill James, Billy Beane stuff. And the big problem we always had with them, and I had it specifically, was the fact that they did not believe in a closer. They believed that anybody could close the ninth inning, bullpen by committee. They tried that last year. It failed. They went and got a big closer this year. And what they did, and I think they really took a page from, forget the on-base percentage, forget this, forget that, forget the bullpen by committee. They went and did two things. They went and got a closer, and they went and got a stud, and they outpitched the Yankees. And in history, the Yankees have never been outpitched by the Red Sox. And this year, the Red Sox outpitched the Yankees, games 4-5 in the bullpen, games 6-7 starters, and then they outpitched the Cardinals embarrassingly in the World Series. Their last three starters did not give up an earned run. So, I mean, they just dominated with their pitching. Now, we know they're wild. We know they can hit. They know they got some depth. They got a lot of guys who contributed. But they won this thing because they could pitch.
No question.
The Red Sox became a team that could pitch.
No doubt about it. And Game 1, of course, was the theme of the whole series. When Roland got up there, that's the big at bat. When Roland got up there in the 8th inning at 9-9, bases loaded, 1 out, and didn't get that run in. I mean, listen, they got a 4-game sweep. That would have been a different series if they would have won that first game. I can't listen to the Yankees now also complain about Schilling. You know, Joe thought last week they didn't buy this ankle. Guy's having surgery in 2 days.
I never bought that.
Not fair.
I always thought Schilling was hurt. Now, Schilling likes to overdo it,
absolutely.
but I think he was hurt.
Now, you know, all of a sudden he's Mr. Spokesman now for 100 years of frustration. He's been there for 1 year.
You know, 1 year he talks about the Red Sox like he's been there 40 years. I'm happy for this guy, that guy. Come on, you've been there 1 year.
I have problems with that too, but I can't question his guts. He went out there, and he's Mr. Religion all of a sudden, and he's Mr. Lou Gehrig's disease all of a sudden. Bottom line is, Game 6, he shut the Yankees down. Game 2, he shut them down. He pitched well against the Angels. He won 21 games. He has got kahunas. That's all there is to it.
Big ones.
And, listen, Torrey, we all love Torrey, but Joe's wrong. And, even Jeter, 93 miles an hour.
They don't want to give Schilling credit, but that's you know what? They're in the battlefield with him. They don't want to give him credit.
Listen,
but that doesn't mean we don't give him credit.
Right, you got to give him credit. I mean, he told you last night he couldn't have pitched Game 6. He told you, if you watched him in a postgame, you knew he wasn't. He didn't sound like he could pitch. They told Arroyo to get ready, and he's having surgery in 2 days. So from that standpoint, you got to give Schilling his due. He was hurt in this postseason.
Enormous due. I don't think there's any question about it. And you go back to games 4 and 5 where this thing turned, and the Red Sox pitched brilliantly from the 6th inning on in both those games, 12 and 14 inning games. They never gave the Yankees a run, and that's where they won it. Their bullpen held. The Yankee bullpen didn't. Their starting pitching excelled in Game 6 and 7. The Yankees starting pitching didn't, and then they totally decimated and dominated the Cardinals in the World Series with their pitching. And even though they made mistakes, they hit the Cardinal pitching. Cardinals couldn't hit their pitching. Cardinals had some guys who basically just, hit the floor in this series.
Oh,
big guys.
Yeah.
Roland, Edmonds, and Pujols didn't have any power in the series. Never got up with guys in scoring position, but he never had any power in the series either. So you got to give him a little bit of a slap because he hit 6 homers going into the series, didn't hit any in the series.
But he played good defense. He had a hit in the ninth inning.
The guy's a great player, but he didn't hit the long ball.
Didn't hit the long ball.
But, he's not Roland and Edmonds, who were embarrassing, along with Sanders, embarrassing in this series.
Sanders.
And it was a terrible series for the Cardinals, an embarrassing performance. For a team that, had won that many games this year, it's an embarrassing way to finish. We know all that. Here's the thing, my take that I have, that I think we need to delve into a little bit today. Obviously, we're going to delve into the celebration, get some thoughts from up in Boston, which I like, get some people on, talk about it, put it in perspective. We'll do all that today. We'll like doing that. Here's the thing I would say, Dog. Where does it go from here? The New York perspective, I think I have a good handle on, and a Yankee perspective I have a good handle on. The Red Sox fan perspective is the one that will intrigue me, that I don't have a handle on. This is the way I'd say it. The Yankees, who will now open with the Red Sox at home and then open with the Red Sox a week later in Boston and have the flag raised while they're in the building.
How sweet is that? The Yankees, Derek Jeter on a third base line when they're for introductions on opening day in Fenway, and they're raising the banner out in center field.
Hopefully the Yankees can go in the clubhouse for something when they raise the banner.
That is sweet. That's
now,
sweet.
The Yankees will treat this as nuclear war. I mean, there's no way around it. They will treat this.
Oh, that payroll is going to balloon.
They will treat
Beltran's a Yankee.
Well,
Let's start
hopefully
that.
they do it smart rather than do it large, and they figure out that it's about pitching and it's about bullpen. It's about the things that they didn't have this year. But forget that later. The Yankees will go on a full